Hey everyone, it's Melissa Morrow with Rave Home Staging and Vintage Bee Design. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to work in my bedroom today. I purchased a new house recently, and here is the before pictures. We've been working on updates, and we noticed that if you're laying in bed, you can look out this door and you can actually see into the living room and the breakfast area. And while this door does lead to my craft room, which I am so excited about getting into, I didn't like having that open view into the main living space. So we are going to cover it up, and we're going to start this process by giving it a good cleaning. And after I washed this door down, I realized I don't think that's happened in a while. So we're going to make sure that our surfaces are perfectly clean, and then I'm going to be able to start painting. But in this case, I just used a multi-surface cleaner. We're going to paint right over this glass. I decided I did not want curtains, I did not want blinds. I wanted something beautiful to look at. And so we're going to begin a summer cottage garden, and I'm going to be using DIY paint for this. DIY paint is the perfect choice for doing a project like this because of its sort of gritty texture being clay-based. It will really adhere to the glass. But in this case, I am just giving it basically a tack coat, which is the initial coat. It'll be fairly see-through since it's going on glass. And you can see the mess in my craft room already as we have started to move in. For my second coat, I want to be sure to go in with a crosshatch pattern, and that's basically kind of like making a bunch of X's over and over again. This will add some texture to the door, which in the end is something that I really like. If I am painting something by hand, I want it to look like I've painted it by hand, and I love the fact that DIY paint can create such amazing texture because it's got that sort of thick grittiness to it. Using the same brush, I'm actually going to go ahead and put my second color on. This is mostly a tack coat because this does have a high gloss under it. The first coat is not going to have very good coverage. Coat number 2 will actually have a much better coverage. We're going to add back in some of the mint chip in that second coat so that we have sort of, I'm going to go with a smushing again of the colors, not a blend where you are doing tedious misting. We just want a little bit uneven. I don't want this to look like the outside is one color and the inside is another. I really want to leave this next clip out of this video because it is just not showing me in a good light. But sometimes I forget to put the lid on correctly and it ends up being really hard, and you can see the lid got rusted, and yeah, so it's hard as a rock. The reason I am showing you this is because another wonderful thing about DIY paint is that you can add water and stir it and it comes back to life completely. No lie. I did turn the camera off while I was stirring because I found that I could not hold the phone and stir at the same time. If it's too lumpy, you can always use a whisk or a fork to get the lumps out, but it is perfectly usable again now. So now I'm going to take that rusty old can of Old 57 and use it with some prom queen to start making some sky for my cottage garden window. I basically alternated the colors and then did the cross hatching, and I also used a lot of water to dull this down so that it would be a little bit more opaque. And while I don't want to see through it, I have that mint chip behind it to provide a nice bright layer, and so I do want to see some striations and some patterning in the sky, and I really want that soft pale blue of the prom queen and the brighter Old 57 to provide a nice contrast and to look like the varying colors of the sky. For the grass, I'm going to repeat this same process with Old 57 and Monet's Garden. And after that layer has completely dried, I'm going to go in and start laying the backdrop for my flower field. So I've kind of got the sky and the grass, and now I want to add as if you're looking at flowers from a distance. I have some queen bee that I am layering on, again watered down, so I'm just dipping my brush lightly in a cup of water and sort of again applying in a mostly X pattern. After laying a soft base of queen bee, I go ahead and start using queen bee again, but this time I am stippling. So I am just taking the tips and sort of pouncing it on the wall, creating texture and a little bit of darkness in some of the areas around the outside. For the flower fields, you'll follow exactly the same process, but with Kissing Booth and Petticoat Pink. Now to finish up our background, we're going to use a little bit of a blending technique. We're going to add some Farm Fresh and some Monet's Garden here and blend it on either side of the brush, sort of push it together, and we're going to make some stalks. We're not doing very many. I don't expect to see much of these. This is just to have a little bit of texture in the background. We're just going to drag it down so it sort of blends both of those colors together. I'll add these so that they're taller on the outside, getting shorter to the inside, and this will mirror how I end up layering my transfers. After these have completely dried, then I am adding Big Top Clear Coat, and you can see the color change. Remember, DIY paint is clay-based, so it tends to dry much lighter and much more pastel looking than the actual colors. So I'm going to let this then completely dry to move on to the next step. The next step is to add some transfers, and I have gone with this one because I feel it looks hand painted. In order to layer these out the right way, I need to start kind of at the top and work my way down, going piece by piece. This is a long process. I will tell you that it took me about 7 hours to actually add all of the transfers to this door. Most of the placement was literally put it up there and see if I liked where it was. If not, move it around, try something different. I went through 2 entire packs of transfers, and you'll notice that I allowed it to go over the edge of the door as well. For me, I thought that added a little bit more dimension. Some people might want to use the door as a frame. I wanted it to kind of just be a part of the background. The next important thing is to make sure that you don't leave the small details until the end. You want to make sure that you're adding your little purple flowers. You'll notice with the little purple flowers that in order not to waste any, I'm actually cutting them between the stalks. So at the very top of the little purple flowers, you can cut it off and have multiples of those stems. Or to add your leaves at the same time. This way they are sort of layered out. So you can see I held the sunflower up, kind of decided where the leaf would go based on where the other sunflower is going to go, and I'm layering them that way. And then after I layer these, I will layer more things on top so that it has some depth and dimension. I'm going to repeat this entire process across the entire door, including the lower part where the pretty roses are, making sure to layer in the leaves and the little purple flowers and fill it up, but leave enough space that you can see the painted background.
Hey, I wish you could see yourself just sitting there on my chair. I'm staring. You don't even notice. Should've told you straight away. You don't have to be afraid anymore. I know you haven't noticed. You know.
for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to make your home more beautiful and to look at problem areas with a different eye. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.